Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome back. Casper here. Thank you for tuning back in. We are coming to ETFs for the weekly update on ETFs, where we look at the gold and silver miners, oil stocks, and so on. And yeah, as always, follow me Twitter, on YouTube, all that good stuff. And let's just get straight into business, so I don't take that much of your precious time here. GDX again. These are kind of tricky to chart. Especially the gold and silver miners are quite difficult. They are very messy. The only thing that I'm looking at right now is this blue downward channel here, which we hopefully break to the upside. Again, we don't want it to get below that level right there. Obviously, that means that we're in for a lot of more pain. But for now, we're still in this blue bull flag here, and we will basically see what happens. Last week, the miners had some pretty interesting outperformance of gold, silver. I think it's a bit too early to say, but still could be. Yeah, it's interesting to see. But again, nothing has happened for a very long time here. Again, if this resolves to the upside, then we have obviously more bullish pressure, which we need, really. Oops. One line missing here. Sorry for that. Let's make it blue very quickly. Why is that not on? There it is. Already. After we broke this red rising wedge, retesting, and now we're still in that blue, somewhat bullish pattern again. We have more pressure to the downside, so we really want to get this thing moving. But until we get above this golden trend line here, it's more or less a nothing burger for now. But yeah, this is the first time in a while that we have had some sort of long-term bullish sideways action. As you can see here, it was just every single time we have been in a bearish wedge, it has dropped down. So this is the first time that we have something constructive to see in the gold miners. Still, the silver miners, again, I'm only watching this blue triangle right here. There it is. And we have that golden here. There are a bit more lines here because it's very messy chart. So the start will be to break that blue falling wedge. And from there, we will take and see what happens. But if we break it, then I think we will go in for that big golden double resistance and that long term here, the red one, the internal. That's the one you have right there. That would be a big resistance to get through. But again, we have to take out this blue one first. If we fall down here into that long-term golden trend line, I think it could be where we bounce to the upside if we just slowly grind into it and then we scoop to the upside. But again, very messy chart overall, and yeah, it doesn't have my highest conviction. It is not that clear at all. SILJ, quite similarly, we have broken down from the golden, which is not nice at all, and now we're just squeezing in this blue pennant right here, and we want to get back above that parallel here, which is a bit more clear compared to the SIL. And but yeah, for now it's a nothing burger. You do absolutely nothing. We can easily just break down and see lower lows again. So yeah, you can see we have the retest here, and now we're trying to break below this level here at roughly 9, which would not be ideal at all. URA, we covered this one in the uranium ETF or in the uranium market, but this, I think we have some sort of pause here. We are very strong move up here. We are in this upwards green channel, bullish channel, and I think we have a pause here, and we maybe have a month or so in front of us where we don't do anything at all. We just consolidate. That's my take. Again, if we for some reason against my start to go above here, then we have a different scenario. But yeah, we are somewhat stretched, and a pause here would be all right at all times. URNM, quite similarly, after we broke here, it has been a one-way street, stunningly, all the way up here, still at the top of this channel here. Right there, you can see the interactions, and we're getting a pause right here. Again, maybe we go sideways for some time, or we can, against the way I think it will happen, we can pop to the upside, and then we have a very different case because then we will see very short-term spiky price action. What also kind of confirms or gives me the idea that we're in for a pause here is that the URNJ is at the all-time high. Again, I know it's only 1 year, not even 1 year worth of price action, but still we are at the all-time highs again at the top of this blue here, or this green upward channel, and I think we can go sideways here for some time. If we pop here, then obviously URNM and URA will pop in their channels as well. But yeah, I think 3 to 4 weeks of sideways consolidation would be perfect. Lithium, long term, it looks very, very nice still, but we are getting into a bit of a stage where we want to see the price action go upwards here. We don't want to drag this one out. We have a low here, the second low here, and now we have a possible third. I think, as we talked about last time, we could go all the way down here to visit that long-term golden, or the lower side of the bull flag, which you have right here, right? That's the bull flag. And if we do, let's see if we can't resume to the upside. Again, this is the big one to take out the upper trend line of the flag. But again, long term, if you zoom out here, this is a beautiful flagpole, flag, and at some point we should get, I mean, the most likely scenario is always a resumption if you get such a clear bull flag here. The Brazilian ETF, or the Brazilian ETF EWC, excuse me. Again, I am waiting for this green bad boy to be taken out and that long-term golden trend line. That's my entry for a massive run up here. I think it will coincide with the dollar going down even further because that is typically what you see. So yeah, nothing much has happened. We broke this rising wedge and hopefully we resume to the upside here. But I'm waiting to clear this one out on a weekly basis and then I have my entry. I will do nothing until I see that. Maybe I will buy if we get all the way down here again. I could buy the low here, but let's see if when we start to get below the 30 weekly, then I open up for that possible entry because I'm quite sure this will go way higher in the future. Nvidia, it's not an ETF at all, but we have had it on here for so long that I think we should, yeah, still have it. Again, very toppy price action here. You can see here high, higher high, higher high, and lower on the RSI. That doesn't mean that we can't go higher. It just means that we are pausing here before we go higher, or we get a big pullback. So one of the two. And yeah, I know many people are talking about going all the way up to 600, and so let's see. But we still have a big gap there from the one of the earnings releases. That's the big gap here, and yeah. Let's see. OYH hasn't done much, to be honest, ever since we cleared that green zone. Still in the uptrend channel right there, which is obviously nice. And long term, looked fantastic. Still, the big level to watch is when we get to roughly 420. Yeah, 420, 410, give or take. That's a breakdown there. If we get all the way up here, I would expect a very big pullback at that point in time. Given it's a 15-year long support and resistance level. So 410 to 420, I expect a huge pullback if we slowly grind up to that. It could maybe be we grind them all the way back down here to like 330. And yeah, that's what I expect. In order to get bearish, I need this one to go all the way down here and take out the green zone and the long-term golden. Until then, it's just fine. I think it gives no dividend. Okay, fair enough. XOP, look at it long term. You've seen it before. Inverted head and shoulders long term. Again, we haven't taken out the neckline, which is roughly somewhere around here. If I want to do it very precisely. Again, we are in this uptrend here. After we cleared that resistance, we are on the green uptrend, and I think we will go and tag that neckline, and then we will see what happens. Typically, you see you could see a pullback before we go again. That's typically what you see. But long term, it certainly looks like we could be in for quite a run here if this whole formation plays out. Again, we need the confirmation above 175, give or take. Yeah, 170 to be more precise. That's when we have a trigger for that. POTX is trying to work on the on the best bottom that it has ever had, really. Um, we broke that long-term falling wedge right there. Boom, there it is. And ever since we came up to these resistance here, we've had a pullback. Looking at the 1 hourly, we could have a possible, let me just find the perfect picture, a possible flag here. Again, I'm not quite certain yet. I will confirm it if we get something like this, right? Then we have the flag. But we do have an ABC for now. So let's see if it be a fifth wave or whatever will happen. But definitely getting above that $9 level, roughly, that will confirm at least a decent bottom right here, and we could be in for higher prices. 10 looks absolutely puke-ish. That's what I want to say. You can see here, this I was very positive was going to resolve to the upside. You can see here, just grinding it. It couldn't, and it broke down from the internal dotted there as well. That's the breakdown there, and we came into the lows here, and now we're resuming lower for solar. Very surprising, actually, that this is what we saw, but it is what it is. That is the price action. Um, and yeah, the path of least resistance is definitely down right now. We can cover this one now because now we have this move in place. Let's drag it up quite a bit. There it is. So we actually have a move in for a third low that could go all the way down to roughly 40, and we are at 55 right now. That's the longest, third impulse low that I can see here right now. So yeah, surprisingly, it just keeps breaking down right there. XLE, again, we are working on the highs here. There they are, and we are just can't seem to break through. We have the fourth touch here. 30 weekly is coming up nicely, and I'm expecting a pop here. I'm only getting bearish when and if we start to some reason crack down right here from these two, the golden and this green double support from these lows here all the way up. I do expect some sort of sideways action here for XLE before we have the final go, and that's a big one to take out, in my view. XLF, look at it here. This is the financial sector, still in that bear flag right here. I mean, it doesn't look good at all. We have a resistance coming down there. For some reason, it was gone. And you can see the weekly here. That's a weekly bear flag. Let's go to the 1 hourly just to show you. Then you can see the big weekly flag, which is not that one, which is right here. There it is. That's the weekly bear flag. And if you look at the 1 hourly, you have a 1 hourly bear flag right here. So basically, if we start to crash down here, then the XLF is in big trouble and should head down for that major level at the 30, which is a 15-year long support and resistance that needs to hold. If it doesn't, banking, financials are in for massive pain. But let's see, there's still some hope. It can clear that red upper resistance here. Go away. Go away. You can see there. That's the red resistance that we're looking at. If we can clear that, obviously, then we have a bullish side of all of a sudden, still within the bear flag though. But we are above that major one here. And yeah, so it's very dicey right now for banking. Weekly on the XLRE, which is the real estate. Again, it really needs to get things going here. We had a breakout here, which was not strong at all ever since it has been grinding downwards here. And yeah, taking out the $35 level clearly is insanely bad for that. Then we'll break the long golden uptrend and that level here. The 35, let's call it 35.5, insanely bearish. We need to grind up here and pop that high there. The breakout high at roughly 39. That's what we're looking for. But the pressure is to the downside. You can see the 30 weekly coming down right there. If it doesn't start to get its stuff together. That's real estate for you. XME, the metals and mining ETF. We have a bigger inverted head and shoulders right there. And we did take out that one early on in June. And now we have a smaller internal blue neckline there. inverted head and shoulders. Excuse me, the overall, that's in head and shoulders. Excuse me, this is an inverted head and shoulders on a smaller time frame. And if we can take out that blue one and that long-term golden right here, then that's insanely bullish for this ETF. Again, we cannot celebrate until we get that breakout really. So yeah, let's see what happens. And if we can take it out, we don't want to get below that that shoulder high there at roughly a tad below 50. That would be very bad. What I just noted here, which was quite obvious, but I just noted here today before I went on, is the copper miners, the COPX long-term golden trend line. There it is. And look what's happening right now. Oh my God. Right now, after we broke down here, I'll go to the daily just to show the details. You can see this is the long-term golden, right? There it is, big bounce. There it is, a bounce. And we couldn't quite clear that $42 level. And we broke down from that golden and in a bear flag below after retest. This price action is ultra bad news. At least it could be ultra bad news if it doesn't start to move up here. If we start to break down here for the copper miners, initially that's not what you want to see if you are a bull. It is as clear as that. Then we have the next level at 33, and then hopefully that holds really. But this one here, not good. Last but not least, we're looking at the SPX. I had the request to add them in. Makes sense. Let's do it here. Only looking at the shorter term price action. Topping pattern here, head and shoulders. That's the golden one. It needs to take out before we get bullish again. Otherwise, the path is that we go down to the neckline and then maybe get a bounce and we roll over, confirming that head and shoulders. So yeah, what happens here? You don't do anything. Bearish below, bullish above. It is that easy in my view. Similarly to the Nasdaq, we have a bit of a more strange head and shoulders, but it is there. Neckline at roughly 4,640. Yeah, give or take. Head and shoulders, there it is. And we are currently sitting at that trend line going back at the start of 2023. You can see it here. If we break that one, my guess is that we will touch the neckline and roll over. That's my guess. But again, we have to wait to get the confirmations of the breakdowns. But that's a likely scenario that I could see for sure. That's all I had for today. Bit of a longer video. I'm sorry for this. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm doing this on the weekly basis. And yeah, if you want to have an ETF added to the list, let me know. Then I can have a look at it and see if it makes sense to have it in. But yeah, comment, and we will see you in the next one, guys. Have a great day.